Hello, and welcome to Mind and Money Show, where we talk all things mindset, money management, and our entrepreneurial journey. Along the way, we're going to throw in some amazing guests for good measure. I'm Shane Hyland.
I'm Gareth Shears. This show is going to change your life and teach you skills that school never taught you.
Boom.
You alright there?
Good cup of tea, I'm good.
I feel like a news presenter today. We've got loads of notes here. So we do this thing. Don't know why they do
They
that.
still do that. They got iPads now, though.
They have iPads. They look at the screen. They have teleprompters, but they still you see them doing the movement of the paper. And this is the end.
I don't watch the news.
What's his name? The reporter on the Queen's death. What's his name? Hugh Edwards.
Hugh Edwards,
Yeah. Look, I've just done it now.
I wouldn't know because I don't watch the news.
I do watch a bit of it the odd time, just to see. If I'm in a happy mood.
I do come home sometimes from work. My wife's watching the news, and I'm like, oh.
If I'm in a happy place, and I've just won the lottery for the third time a week in a row, I turn it on just to bring me down to earth.
You won the lottery for the third week in a row. I actually won the postcode lottery the other day.
You did?
Again, £10, another 10 quid. I think I won more on the postcode lottery than I have on the normal lottery. Then again, I don't do the normal lottery anymore.
Welcome, everyone.
Give it a while ago.
It's lovely to see you all again. Thank you for joining. We're recording this. Oh, miss Mr. Reynolds. Recording this and chatting as the second, third, 4th PM of the month, or will be announced later.
Well, it's longer than a month. Didn't she make 44 days?
Sorry, she did.
That's a couple of months, isn't it? Well, Boris pulled himself out of the race, didn't he? Just want to see if he still had it.
Flex his muscles, isn't it? I still have it. I'm back.
Yeah. But I'm not going to steal Frishy's thunder. But in all honesty, I don't think he could have jumped straight back in. It makes a bit of a farce, the whole thing, doesn't it? Gets voted out and then suddenly he's back in.
When I heard to talk about politics, come on. There's other podcasts for that.
She just deafened everyone by slamming the table then, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, there is. What should we talk about? Well, no, I know exactly what we're going to talk about. Let's talk about electric vehicles.
Why is that coming up for debate?
Why is that coming up today? Because we have one. We have our first electric vehicle in the family. And in fairness, I'm very impressed with it. It is literally like a go-kart, though. The power when you put your foot down.
Is it like the go-kart? If you left your foot up,
yeah.
it's gonna. Oh, it does. You have to get used to it.
So if you take your foot, off the gas in a normal car, it'll just coast, won't it?
You're watching too much American TV as well, gas.
Well, it's the American viewers, isn't it? Or listeners. We have a lot of listeners in America on a podcast, in fairness, in Canada and places like that. But so if you take your foot off the accelerator, it'll coast the normal car, won't it? But with the electric car, it doesn't. It effectively slows down, and it slows down quite quickly when it does. And that does take a little bit of game, but it's fine. Do you know what I mean? But no, we've only got a little Renault Zoe, but it's a great little entry into it. But my biggest issue with it is I just don't think the infrastructure in the UK is set up for it.
What do you do? Because we went into Cardiff a few weeks ago, and as we were walking past, we were walking into the museum, and there was 2 charging ports next to the museum. Yeah. As we were walking past, the first thing that struck me before you even said about this today is there was 2 cars already there. So if I'm driving down, I can't think of the name of the road.
Is it Park Place, Museum Place?
Could be, yeah. I'm driving down there. It's telling me I've got 4 miles left. If I've got,
I just want to hope you haven't got 4 miles left on an electric car.
If I've got a diesel or petrol car, I can just go, do you know what? I'm okay. I've got 20 miles left, 15. Yeah. And I know within 6 or 8 minutes, there's a petrol diesel station. There's a Tesco, a Morrison's, a Sainsbury's, a Normal. Yeah. I can fill it up. Yeah. I got 4 miles left in a city that I don't know, or even if I've just got a new electric car and I don't know where the charging ports are, and it says charging ports are 100 yards away, and I rock up, they're being used, or they don't work, or they're not compatible. What the hell do you do?
They've got even better story.
Does the car just go zoom, and you're there stuck in the middle of the road going, sorry guys, I can't move?
Yeah, it no doubt it would do. I haven't got that kind of far, but we haven't had it long. But yeah, so actually talking about those 2 chargers, so I turned up to those chargers.
The same 2?
Yesterday, the ones on the main road. So there wasn't anyone in there. So I pulled in, had my daughter in the car, and I got the cable out, plugged it into the side. The light above it was red. Okay, interesting. Screen didn't work properly. It turns out someone had put the stop button in on the side, the emergency stop button. But anyway, so I phoned the number on there. So after 5 minutes of talking through it, plug it in here. I'll reset it electronic. He did it from remotely. I'll reset the machine. Yeah, I'll fine. In the meantime, some guys turned up, plugged it in, and walked off his car, scanned his phone on there, and walked off. Done. And I was like, happy days. I've been here 10 minutes now, and I still don't have a charge going on my car. So I was also in the danger zone. My daughter was tired and was probably going to fall asleep. So on the phone, plug that in. He's like, yeah, okay. Hang on. These are not set up for charging this type of car. We're only working on the fast chargers for the Teslas and all the others. Right, okay. But there's more around the corner you can go to. Okay, right, great, they work, right. So get in the car, lo and behold, she's fallen asleep. But there we go, it's what it is. So drive round, get the next ones, they're actually both out of order. Okay, so that's 4 machines now I can't use. So I tell you what, there's an app called Zap or whatever, it tells you where all the cars are, so I plug it into there, drive, takes me to a location, you have arrived at your destination. Look around, no charge to be bloody seen. So I then have a little look at a forum. Oh yeah, so some of these apps which tell you where they are putting ones on there which they have planning permission to put in. They're not actually there yet. Right? so anyway, so then I drive to our office. Thought we got a charger down here. Drive down here, plug it in. Doesn't work.
Not compatible.
Well, it is compatible, it turns out, and it did it. But there's obviously a problem with the app and the system because every time I plug it in, you go charging started, then 30 seconds later, charging ended. So all this time now, my daughter's fast asleep. So I go, right, okay, let's go to John Lewis. Not John Lewis, St. David's too, because they actually do have a charge there, even though it's a slow one. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a great concept, but the problem we've got is, right, the UK electric vehicle infrastructure strategy says that by 2030, they want to end the sale of any new diesel or petrol cars. Right?
It's not going to happen.
And by 2035, they want all cars to be at zero emissions. So what I'm saying is, unless they pull their finger out, okay, for the infrastructure, this ain't going to happen, right? Do you think how many cars were parked up around the museum yesterday? They'd have to dig up the roads to put a charger on every single charging space.
Yeah.
But what we also got to think about is take a block of flats. So there's a block of flats that a friend of mine's got an apartment in. It's probably easily 400 to 600 apartments there, yeah, and probably not that many spaces. But it's a massive car park with parking spaces for the apartments. What are they going to do? Cut up the whole car park to put park charging posts at the end of each space. It's just not going to happen. The cost to be astronomical. But let's come back to the fact, what have they been talking about at the moment, the current crisis of fuel? Actually saying that between certain hours, we shouldn't be using our washing machines, dishwashers and so on and so forth. What are they going to say? Sorry, can't charge your car now. You have to walk everywhere.
There's a friend of ours, and I won't mention his name because he may have told us in confidence, but he said there was one local authority, wasn't it, that he talked about, because he works in electric vehicles, charging and stuff like that, and offered to put in X amount of thousand, a bit like in London, on the posts in each of the pillars, or the lamp posts. And they said no. I said, I'll do this for free. And they went, no. And I'm not sure why. Now, the other thing that he said is because of areas like that, where there mightn't be space, or people in residential areas where there's limited capacity to put in places and charge. I think he is now has got 1 or 2 fast charging boxes on the back of trucks.
That's right, where they can turn up.
He will turn up. They will basically put your car on the back of the truck, drive around for 45 minutes, charging away, dump it back to you as a fast charge. Superb way, but it seems a bit ludicrous of having to do that. Not sure of cost.
Are those vehicles which are taking them round electric though?
Probably not.
Exactly. So this is the thing. We're all talking about zero emissions. I get it. It's a brilliant idea.
Great for businesses to offset. And we know people that have bought some sort of Porsches in the last couple of months. 1 or 2 businesses you see on LinkedIn that they've
Teslas
offset, huge amounts of money, buying, was it 150k Porsche or the accountants on.
Oh yeah.
So you can see that, but I'll be honest, I don't feel confident in the infrastructure, and I don't feel comfortable to keep anxiety and stress levels to a minimum if I'm driving around somewhere local that I can't find a charging port. Now add that to the fact of if I drive off to Birmingham, Manchester, London,
yes,
how I'm going to go, right, I need to go for 116 miles, then I need to stop, then I need to spend 2 hours in a service hoping that there's a slow charge there and available, and I need to wait there 2 hours, and I need to go on another 116 miles. I get it, great, but at the moment, because of infrastructure not being there, for me, which is the wrong thing to say, it's fossil fuel all the way.
Yeah.
Hi guys, a quick break from our episode, just to let you know that we have released our mortgage course for free for a limited period of time. There is so much false information out there at the moment that is creating panic, stress, and worry for everyone. We all know how difficult it is when you're trying to get your first mortgage or that new deal. Click on the link in the description below and get started and use our years of experience to help you through these troubled times.
Well, that's a good example, actually. Suze is an interesting example. I stopped at Suze's recently, and there was, I want to say, 6 standard chargers, okay, which any car could go on. And then there must have been 40 Tesla ones, right? All lined, like literally went across, around the corner, Tesla ones. There was 2 Teslas in there. And there was people queuing for the other 6 ones. Now, not everyone can use the Tesla chargers. I think some cars can. I don't know it all. And that's another thing, is actually the information out there about how you charge, what you can charge, what you can and can't do is really, really poor, even down to the garage that we bought the car from. They didn't tell us what you should know, what charging you can use on machines. Literally, there's your car. What they got to bear in mind, it's not a petrol or diesel car. We can't just go to a petrol station and fill up.
And isn't there we know a couple that have, he's a Tesla, she is a Merc, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Did he say that the Tesla on a supercharge is something like charged at 200 miles an hour, so in half an hour it's charged 100 miles, and
that's
the
fast
wife's
chargeability,
Merc is charging at something like 50 miles an hour, so in the half an hour she's done 25 miles. Now, what good is 25 miles in a motorway services?
I think it depends as well if your car has the ability to take fast charge as well, because there are, so those ones, the ones you saw by the museum, they're 50 kilowatt chargers, right? So they would effectively charge extremely fast. Now the ones in St. David's are 7 kilowatt.
Wow.
So it'll take, to do a full charge on like the car we've got, would probably be 8 hours.
Yeah.
It was generally your home charger style. But like the one here we got at the office is 22 kilowatt if it worked, which means you would effectively charge it in full charge, probably our car in probably 3 to 4 hours.
Do you know how you have a car?
That one does 70. Yeah, so this one here does 70 miles per hour.
Right.
That's the charging.
So when you have a car, you can get a 1 litre, a 2 litre, a 4 litre, a 5 litre supercharged, whatever it may be. How is that different to electric? Is it the battery size and the charging
I think
speed?
so, yeah. I don't know it all fully, because again, the information out there is really poor at the moment on it. But I don't think, like, albeit I know we don't drive very far at the moment, because most clients come here, we don't really go distant. If we do go to London, we take a train. But I still don't feel confident that our main household car can be electric at the moment, unless I bought likes of Tesla, where you're going to get the distance.
Yeah. And
you can generally plug it in anywhere.
Don't like them. I think I'm waiting for the Range Rover Sport Electric to come out.
Yeah, but the problem is, though, how good are their batteries? I mean, like,
it's not the batteries. It's anything to do with electric. All of a sudden, a 30 grand car, which is, for most people, high end, is 50.
Well, no, but I think the Range Rover Sport, I think an entry-level Range Rover Sport, whatever you might say, is 60 to 80. But like, if you pick an 80 grand Range Rover Sport, the electric version is probably going to be about 130 to 150. But there's no point. Like,
No.
if you look at the break even out of it, I know this is not a emissions friendly example, but if you work the break even point down and spend an extra 50, 60 grand on a car
over 4 years,
over
12
4
grand,
years,
£1,000 a month on fuel.
we ain't going to do that.
You're not going to do that. No.
Like, even if fuel. So actually,
And that's before you even pay for the electricity.
unless you're using it for a tax efficient way, you want to reduce your profits in the business, or you've got a lot of spare money, right? And you don't and you want to be kind of like, it doesn't make sense at the moment. This is what I mean. They can bring all these lovely guidelines in about the infrastructure. UK, they want all these electric cars on the roads, but we're not set up for it.
So
and people ain't going to pay that extra money.
Do
for
you
it.
think that's why there's such a big incentive for businesses? Because they know it's actually, the technical term is a pain in the arse, having an electric car, because there's stress attached to it, because it's a new concept.
Yeah.
There isn't electric stations.
So our option is we have one put into the house, okay, right? But it'll cost me £1,000 to put a charger on the house, right? Where yes, electric wise is cheaper, but probably if you looked at the break even point of that £1,000 now on buying that car, it's probably 18 months on what I would have paid on fuel, because we don't use that car as much, because it's a bit.
And
of a
if you get rid of that car in 24 months, if you go back to fossil fuel, your charging port is just there. And if you go to a Tesla, is it as simple as just changing the connection port and go, it's a USB to
potentially, yeah, maybe it is. I don't know.
But that's more costs. There'll always be a cost associated with any sort of amendment.
So on paper, it all looks brilliant, but actually, if you look at it from a breakdown of a financial point of view, it just doesn't work. It doesn't technically make sense. Like, don't get me wrong, it does for us for a second car, because Kath had to change her car anyway. There's no tax on it. It's cheaper insurance. It's going to be cheaper to kind of run, because once we can get the charger working here, I'll bring it down and charge, because we charged it up on Friday evening in St David's 2.
Still there charging today.
Yeah, so we were, because the restaurant in question we went to, for about the fourth time we've been there over a number of years, took ages to get our food. We were in there for a good 2 hours or so. So the car was on charge for a good 2 hours. But so we charged about 25% in that 2 hours, right? And it cost £3.
Plus parking.
Yeah, but parking £3 in the evening, so it's not too bad. So essentially £6, okay.
I'm still not.
No, but for £6 we charge.
So it's hybrid better. So I presume. Am I?
Don't get me on the hybrid. I these self-charging hybrid rubbish which you see. Like,
but you get a couple. If you're driving around town,
that's a con.
If you're driving around town, are you going to get 10 or 15 miles of electric? If you're driving around town, that's all done automatically.
Have you ever driven like the likes of Lexus?
No, I'm not going. I'm not going from fossil fuel until.
Right. So we took. They might be different now. Don't get me wrong, but we test drove one, and took it down to see my brother in Exeter like quite a few years ago, and those cars are your kind of hybrids whereby they mix between electric and petrol. I would have said in that whole 3 days we had it, 2 or 3% of the time it was on electric. So you drive out of your street, yeah. Once you broke 20 mile an hour, bang, kicks in the engine, right? Get on the motorway, kicks in the engine. Sit in traffic for too long, the engine kicks on.
For the aircon and all that.
Well, just because I don't think it can maintain the electric for that period. I couldn't get my head around, actually. We ended up using a shed load of petrol that weekend. But I just couldn't get my head around what the benefit of it was. I might be totally wrong, but in that period, we kind of came away from it thinking, well, I don't get it. I just don't get what these...
So if we chat about money and stuff like that and all things money on this, pluses for a electric car, potentially the fuel costs are astronomically low. So instead of a 60 quid, 70 quid fuel tank for you, you're looking at about full on in 10, 12 quid against 60.
Yeah, I reckon. And that's charging at a paid charging machine. I reckon if you charge at home, it's going to be even less, especially if you charge it overnight on specific tariffs.
Here's one. Cost of electricity going up. Is it actually going to be cheaper to charge it somewhere else on that rate than your
I
own
don't know.
house.
You'd have to. I don't know. I don't really know what.
And then you're going to have to get solar panels in to charge it potentially.
Yeah.
Which is going to be another 25 grand.
Well, yeah, exactly, and this is what it comes to. I think as a concept and for the environment, yeah, it's brilliant, right? And they're very dangerous though, because people can't hear you coming.
No,
that's the other thing. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't. It literally is so quiet.
Although my neighbour has one, you can hear them reversing in. There is a reversing.
Oh, isn't it?
Beep. Yeah.
You can hear the bit of a whir of the car coming, but it's not like a normal car. But I think it's a great concept. But we just.
Is it going back to everything else?
I know you're never going to be right.
The foundation is not there. The infrastructure is not there yet.
But I also don't think the councils really care. It's not their priority.
No.
Because when you come back to that example that they were offered to put them in the street and stuff like that, that comes down to the fact that it wasn't the council's priority, probably. Actually putting these shots, it's not their priority at the moment.
Yeah.
They've got too many potholes or they've got this problem to sort out. Actually putting a load of chargers in is not their priority because there's not that many on the road still yet.
And if you're looking at a 40 grand car and the equivalent, an A4 or an A3 40 grand car is a lovely car. The same thing in an electric, if whatever they do is going to be 70 grand. People are not going to pay that 30 grand to lease for 3 years.
And it's because of the battery cost.
Having to then put something in at home.
Yeah.
And when you work all the figures out, and you, a bit like a mortgage, you add in all of the costs of the real costs over a 36 or 48 month leasing period, all of that, fine. Your fuel costs might be really, really small, but you are lumping, it seems you are lumping the benefit of the saving of the fuel costs into being environmentally friendly and using this car that's going to cost you more per month leasing and more at the outset in terms of having to put charging points, and increases anxiety, stress and worry and time, because wherever you go, you're going to have to sit waiting for it.
Well, I was trying to time it to going to the tank and do some stuff, but we were at 51%, I think, yesterday, something like that, when I was looking for chargers. So I wasn't quite at that stress point. But a good example, like driving into work this morning, I didn't realise I had any fuel in my car, but I had 30 miles left in the tank. Now that's how I drive. I'm terrible for that. Do you know what I mean? It's how I've always done it. But I'd have to learn I can't do that with an electric car. Probably when I get to 50%, I need to be finding somewhere to charge.
Is your engine
if
in
I'm
the
not
back?
charging at home?
In the front?
In the front.
Can you just not have a boot and put in twice as many batteries, so you have twice as much? Then you're limiting capacity.
But no, that's what happens in the bigger cars. And Tesla's just got a better battery technology, hasn't it? Because that's the key to a lot. It's the better battery technology.
So do this as the end of the thing.
Oh yeah.
So it means great for the environment. Greta, is that her name? What's the young girl? The girl that's always on about saving the world. Small 14, 15-year-old girl. There's always.
I missed that one. Missed that story.
She's always on TV.
If it's always on TV, okay. I wouldn't watch it.
She's all on for electric cars and saving the planets and the whales and all that. But to be honest, fossil fuel is the way to go because infrastructure is not there.
Oh, exactly that. And we're certainly not going to hit the 2030 and 2035 mark. I don't
Absolutely
think that's
not.
right.
No.
Because that's coming around pretty damn quick.
Excuse me. If you're looking to save money on your business, make a pension contribution. Instead of buying a car that's going to bring you stress, worry, anxiety, and not give you any peace of mind, because when you go somewhere and you've got a daughter or something in the back seat wanting to go to sleep and you're running around an area that you're not sure of, trying to look for a charging port, it's not worth it.
Oh, I've also got 5 new apps on my phone that I didn't really want for different charging type machines. So that's just to add to it. That's the problem. We'll end up with 40 different apps. Well, that's a pointless, isn't it? Can we not sort that out as well? So there we go. Here's my 2 pence.
Thanks for listening to us.
Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe and remember to follow us on social media for more content like this.